Hey, it's the Asperger's Gamer 64 here. I'm back again with another review. Not one, not two, but three. Yes, I'm going to review the three Atari Star Wars games, which first was released in the arcade in the 80s. But you're probably thinking, why am I doing the ZX Spectrum ports? Well, I was going to do the arcade versions, but I thought, well, I was looking around on World of Spectrum and I saw it. And all three of them were done by the same company, so I think converted by the same company. So I think, like, what the hell? Might as well do all three of these because I just want to. All right. Okay. So anyway, the first game we're looking at is Star Wars: The New Hope. Now, this one the game takes place at the end of the Star Wars film, the Star Wars Death Star trench run thing. You know, when Luke Skywalker goes to the Death Star and goes for the trench runs. Basically, the game starts with that. Basically, tells you a bit of backstory of what's been going on. Also, I mean, there's note in the arcade version they had sound clips from the film, but in this one they don't. So obviously, due to limited hardware. So you see, Obi-Wan is gone, and all like that. Now you can also pick between wave difficulties. You get easy, which you don't get any bonus points. Hard and medium do have bonus points. Now the game uses vector graphics. Now vector graphics are line graphics, as you see here. Basically, it kind of I don't know really. I do kind of like vector graphics. Kind of really cool. It's just like line graphics. We're trying to give like a 3D effect as well, don't they? Trying to have, like, you know, that FX chip effect, don't they? Now, this is pretty much like a really good arcade port on the ZX Spectrum. But there's one thing I didn't like about this port is it slows down when a lot of enemies are on the screen. Pretty much from that is pretty pretty good, but there's no sound, which kind of really makes it a bit. It could at least add a bit like fire sounds and all like that, but. A bit of music would have been alright as well. Like, you heard some music at the beginning of the video, but pretty much that's the only music in the actual game, which is kind of a bit of a letdown. But still, it is a really good port of the classic arcade game. So now we go up to the Death Star now. Shoot the TIE Fighters. Also, you do see like Darth Vader's TIE Fighter as well. It's kind of bugger to get rid of. And then we're going into the Death Star. Actually, Death Star looks really good. So now we just go through the trench run. But after when you've done this, you will go to the next wave, which is more harder. Later you do it again, it's more harder and harder and harder. It's pretty much like one of those wave games that gets harder and harder. Also, when you have some shield left, you will add your bonus points. So you also do get to replace your shield as well. So don't try and go easy. But like I say, it's a. That's excuse me. Birds. Yeah, if you hear that, they're just birds fighting in the background because I'm actually in a roof bedroom. Yes, I could shoot them, but I thought, nah. I've nothing against birds, except when they shit on your car. Get a brand new car and the bird shits on your car. What a drama. So we just fire the torpedo and we see the Death Star explode into a vector graphic rainbow. So that is that's Star Wars. Now we go on to the next game in a minute. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. I love that. It's pretty much my favourite scene in the actual game. The bonus point requires energy, blah blah blah. See, it adds one more to your defense shield. Next game, please. See, every time I always put these all together, I keep forgetting what time the next game comes on. So that's just my blunder. As you see now, you just go. Now here we go. So this is Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, done by Atari and also written by the same company. Actually, the company is called Dumark. As you see, it's the classic Star Wars theme. I mean, let's say I didn't say this before. Actually, they do a really good job with Star Wars theme on these ports. What's happened? Oh, here we go. So basically now it's pretty much like you get to see you can choose between your keyboard or Capstone, but pretty much it is actually the same as the previous game. But in this one, you take control. The scenes that come from the Battle of Hoth stage, and the scene when the Millennium Falcon escapes from the Star Destroyer, and the asteroid scene where they're trying to hide in the big asteroid. Now in this one is using the same vector graphics as the previous one, but they've added some sound and music into this one, which gives it a big plus in my book. As you hear now, you can hear music and sound. Now you see in this version you can find letters called Jedi. If you find the entire letters of the Jedi, you become briefly invincibility. Now in this run I don't do it. So when you find them, it gives you like brief invincibility. So that's pretty much what they've added into this one. Pretty much, it's just pretty much like the same basic game, but just like with the different scenes really. But also like in the previous one, there is slowdown when a lot of enemies are on the screen, for example here. I have to say the music is pretty good, like a really good rendition of the Empire theme. And another great example of why I love the vector graphics, because it looks so 3D. Not like 3D as it come out in your face 3D, like probably like, you know, proper good. I was picturing these games were never put to the Vectrex because they use vector graphics, otherwise this game was never put to the Vectrex. Was a bit, Well, this game was also ported to other consoles as well. The computers are like the Atari 2600, the Commodore 64, and all sorts of areas. I think the BBC Macro as well. So you see, I just got the E. Like I said before, you collect them all, you become briefly invincibility. But said this game you get 5 shields instead of, was it 9 in the previous one? So they kind of just dropped out the shields a bit. Those of you I've been shooting at are chicken walkers or ATSTs and ATATs. Just briefly moved. What a bonus for track. I think if you go through them, you do like that when they spin around them. I don't know, I've never really done that myself. And that's the end of the Hoth stage. And we're going to control the Millennium Falcon. Yes, we are basically doing what we did in the previous game, but just playing the Millennium Falcon and escaping from the Star Destroyer. Like in the previous one, they did have like voice clips from the film as well. But in this one, I think you do actually see him like on the top of there. Another letter, D. Yeah, actually, I can actually get them all, but it's just, you know, but in this one, I don't really do it, so, yeah. Shoot the diamond, shoot the fireballs. Yeah, shoot the fireballs. So I have to basically plan out to avoid the asteroids. Pretty much if you play this, you pretty much remind me of the Star Wars game released on the NES. I used to fucking hate that stage. You have to avoid the asteroids. Oh. So no, it's 100 something to 1. Never tell me the odds. Sam Soul says, never tell me the odds. Pretty much like lack of like the sound clip, but at least they tell you the top. Stephen says, do you know that? So it looks like I didn't get Jedi at the end of this. And there goes the Millennium Falcon. And like it did in the previous game, it just pretty much like repeats itself. There's Darth Vader. Like I said in the previous one, in the previous game, it just pretty much repeats itself in a harder difficulty, so yeah. I really do like this port of Empire Strikes Back. I highly recommend this to anybody. Now we're up to Revenge of the Jedi. This is the last of the Atari arcade games. And the music you're hearing is the end theme at Return of the Jedi when the Ewoks thingamajig, the Ewoks. Yes, those killer teddy bears. Never trust an Ewok. Never piss off an Ewok. It's like in the previous one, you just move the Death Star 2 to a hard, medium or easy. Now in this one, they abandoned the vector graphics, like they did in the previous two, for more different graphics. But in this one, you control as Luke on the speed bike, while trying to avoid the scout troopers. You can also try and smack him into trees. Excuse me. You play as Luke Skywalker to avoid the scout troopers. So basically you have to dodge the trees and don't get hit in the trees. Also the Ewoks will help you as well get rid of them. And also you will have the scene with Lando Calrissian when he's escaping from the Death Star 2. And also there's one when you play as Chewbacca in the Chicken Walker. This one I really suck at, because it took me a couple of times just to get a good run of this one for this review. I have to say, I have seen the arcade game for Return of the Jedi. I have to say, it pretty much does feel like a good arcade port. They did a really good job. So as you see here now, we're doing the... I always fucking hate them. You have basically to avoid like obstacles and the fire behind you and the occasional... yeah, I suck. And the occasional fire in the background. Once again, you're back as Luke. What I really recommend these free arcade games. I tell you something. Being released on the ZX Spectrum, I'm really impressed what they did to them. The people who actually converted these did a really fantastic job. I enjoyed it. When I went through them to record it, I really enjoyed them. They really did a fantastic job. I would, if you were getting the ZX Spectrum, I recommend these three Star Wars games to anybody because they're really good ports. They are really fantastic ports. I just love it when you just use the trees to actually get rid of them. Especially with that one in Return of the Jedi when that scout trooper went, oh shit! Scout troopers, you know how to crash into trees. I don't actually complete this one anyway, because I just fucking suck at it. So, hope you enjoyed this review. This has been the Asperger's Gamer 64, and I will see you next review. Peace. Yes, I do suck.
A great philosopher once wrote,
it's all good in the long run.
Things like that.